remember. Now I remember. Now I remember. I think it was when Amanda spoke. I remembered. Yeah, I remember that voice. It's unique. Nice to see everyone again. We had to make a couple of last minute changes. Um, please, if you have access to Thea's email, you could just send her an email to check up on her. She's doing good, by the way. She just needs some time to rest. Um, so that's for Thea. Now, I think a question I have is this. Has anyone scheduled his or her exams? Like, who has his exams scheduled or her exams scheduled? At least now I know one person being truthful has let us know I ain't ready for this. So, who has the exam scheduled? Or you have a vision like, oh, I'm going to write it in a month. I'm going to write it in 2 months. Thankfully, the CBAP is not the PMP that just changed. So imagine if the CBAP was to change. What would we do?
I'm thinking of doing it latest November, early December before the vacation. That's my timeline.
That's good and that's
Yeah,
workable. Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the same with me, Katya, is my and Esther. I'm planning on trying to get it done, you know, late November, early December.
Yeah.
That's good. Having a timeline actually helps us study, like when you know what you're working towards, and also just getting ready for any uncertainty. Yes, the IIBA hasn't said they're changing the curriculum, but I've had people like the PMP curriculum just changed like 2 days ago. So imagine what would happen if you didn't get ready, or maybe you had started the class and now the curriculum has changed. Now you have to start from the scratch. So that's for PMP, by the way. So back to business analysis, I have our watermark questions and I'm going to share my screen. But before I do that, like I always do, is to ask firstly, are we looking at solving questions today, or we're looking at taking a look at one of the knowledge areas and asking questions or getting clarifications? I'm fine with whatever.
We were supposed to do chapter 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 today.
Yep. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What are the knowledge areas?
Elicitations,
Requirement, strategy,
mm, uh,
requirement analysis.
and solution
Yeah,
evaluations. Yeah, it's actually
exactly.
all except the
Exactly.
BAPM. By the way, hi, Kosi, right? I'm JC. I'm
Exactly.
sorry, I just now raised a hand, but you didn't notice, right? Actually, I'm going to taking my test for my CCBA next Friday because here is Malaysia, so
Okay.
it's not 8 a.m. in morning. So I will
Okay.
taking so the next round I won't be joining. I will be go proceed to my yeah to
Okay.
take
And
my test.
we're waiting for the good news. We're rooting for you. It's gonna be good. You'll be
Okay,
fine.
thank you.
Don't sleep on it. Just do it.
Just
Don't
do
be
it.
afraid of it. Make it happen sooner rather than later.
Exactly. Just do it.
If you let it sleep, you'll forget stuff.
So please just do it. I think someone has multiple devices. All right. So we're going to solve questions or take a look at questions, strategy analysis, RADD. I usually call RADD RAD, like the RAD knowledge area,
Yeah.
then solutions evaluation.
And you have
Uh
elicitation and requirement life cycle.
Yep.
oh, you also want us to add those
Yeah,
two as
yeah,
well?
exactly.
It's more like we're preparing for the comprehensive exam. So are we ready?
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. I also don't like to the last CBAP class I took before this one, I overestimated. I'm like, oh, we're gonna solve 50 questions. And I remember that day, I think we solved about 10 or thereabout. It was ridiculous. So do we do 25?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're starting with 25 and we are ready to begin. And don't worry, I'm not gonna confuse anybody today. I'll just let you ride along. You are mentoring a new BA in the communications arena. They are preparing for their role as facilitator for a workshop that will review requirements elicited to date for purposes of confirmation from the source stakeholders. They are using the BABOK as a reference for their prep. Wow. Okay. They come to you asking about business analysis information since the BABOK says they need it as an input. Let's not forget that line. They come to you asking about business analysis information since the BABOK says they need it as an input, but they have no idea as to what it includes. How do you explain the term to them? So, what's business analysis information? Can we remember what it is?
Any sort of information that will help you to, let's say, during elicitation, discovery, it can document, it can be
Anything.
any sort of documentation, let's say. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. So,
Across the
what answer are
entire
we
life cycle.
Yeah,
looking?
agree.
So, what answer are we looking at? A, B, C, or D?
Cat.
I
C
think
for cat.
T.
C, yeah. I
Yeah.
think C for Charlie.
Yeah.
Why not A? I said I wasn't going to confuse anybody, so I promise I'm not confusing you guys.
Because business analysis, the information, it doesn't come up only from glossary.
Okay.
I don't think that's what the BABOK would say. That's all.
Okay.
It's
Too
any
general for
kind
me.
of
Now,
information.
I feel
Here
glossary
you
is
are,
too general.
okay.
yeah, you are limiting it to glossary. This is any kind of information at any level.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
All
it's
right.
here.
All right. Let's also look at the fact that it says that they are preparing for their role as facilitator for a workshop that will review requirements elicited to date, meaning requirements elicitation already happened.
Mm.
Requirements elicited to date for purposes of confirmation from source stakeholders. What's the process of confirmation from stakeholders after requirements have been elicited? What's the next stage?
Yeah,
You play them back.
validation. Sorry, you have the verification, validation.
Validation. Good.
Yeah.
So, what answer are we looking at?
Oh, in the context of what we've just been talking about then.
Mm-hmm.
D. Documented today from that, along with their stated and documented for review.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is D.
Yeah,
D.
I don't know.
I didn't
I feel
confuse you guys.
Yeah, you
So
did.
yeah.
You
It
did.
didn't
I feel
confuse them.
Big time. Kenzie.
Babok has a explicit definition for business analysis
analysis
information.
information. Okay. So we want to go with
Okay.
D, right?
Now to tell you why it's not C, because there is nowhere in any of these chapters where you have business analysis information as an output.
I still think it's C.
See? Okay.
I still think it's C for Charlie because the
But
other
in front is
ones
a noise.
are. Sorry?
noise, I think, is like
Yeah.
confusing us. Actually, the one that
Everything else
is how you want to explain the term to them. This is the
agreed.
question.
Agreed. Because they're
Okay.
not asking what is the business. They're not asking you what is business analysis information in the context of this scenario. They're just
Okay.
asking as what is it as a general definition. So I still think
Okay.
C is correct. I'm
All
happy
right.
to be proven wrong.
Are
I
we going
think
with
it
C?
is D. I think it is D.
Oh,
Let's
we have a
let's
C, we
let's
have a D.
let's go with the C, please, and see the answer. And yeah, let's see.
Okay. We're going with C. Is that a collective answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Dab
think
in the
it's
dark.
D from the way you said it.
That's correct.
Okay.
Oh, okay. And
So
can you click D and see what it says,
Exactly.
please? I want to see why.
this explanation may represent the bulk of the business analysis information needed for that particular meeting, but
Exactly.
it does not adequately define the term business analysis information. So, like Bob said, that business analysis information has a specific definition in the BABOK. So there are times the exam can actually get a bit tricky. What they're asking, they might give you too much information, like there might be
Yeah.
TMI, but they're just asking for something specific. We only just have to don't be over analytical like I can be. There are times it's simple as you say it. All right. So
Yep.
we're doing C because we actually got it right. And we're going to the next. Oh,
Oh,
I love this. Let's
Oh,
get
not this
ready.
one again. Oh, we had this one again, and I hated it.
we I want to be sure that we got it because this is the exact same question we solved the last time I was here. If you guys
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
so we need to be sure that we understood the concept. And for those that weren't here, like those people not here, we dealt with state diagrams, ERGs. So let's get ready. So Julian is a BA working on a project to create a new subscription management system for Nordest magazines. Now the team has developed the data and the navigation to handle the various entities and states in the diagrams below. The application can accept new and trial subscriptions. Let's take a look. It can process payments and it can also inactivate subscriptions. I'm going to repeat that again because that information is important. They're dealing with a subscription management system. That system can accept new and accept trial subscriptions. That system can process payments and that system can inactivate subscriptions. Now, during the current iteration of the effort, Julian is sensing that the team is missing some key requirements. Now, this is the state diagram, and we have the ERD. The question is, what state is Julian missing in the models for this situation? Now, I'm going to open the image
Mm.
itself for us to take a look at it. There are two images, but again, let's do this. For this question, let's be real. Do you think this question has to do with the state diagram or it has to do with the ERD?
Eight.
State diagram.
state diagram.
Eight.
Good.
Yeah.
So now let's focus on the state diagram. Now, the question tells us that what state is missing in the models? There is a cancelled, it says cancelled subscription, which is a valid state for any subscription. The suspended subscription when a payment is not approved. The rejected subscription because of a payment not being approved. And a former subscription, which is implied in the diagram. Let's not forget. What can the application do? The application can accept both new and
Oh,
trial
yeah.
subscriptions.
Yeah.
It can process payments and it can inactivate subscriptions. Now, with that understanding, I want somebody to just take a look at this state diagram and let me know, like, let's see how you understand the flow. I want to be sure that we understand what a state diagram is, then we'll be able to spot out the outlier. So, who can explain this state diagram in your own words?
You are a new user.
Mm-hmm.
You either request for a new paid subscription. It goes into two sequence for a new, either for a new or trial. And you go within the process of, if you are a new, you request for new paid, then it is pending approval with the payment. If it's payment approved, well, what happened?
Oh, sorry about that. Go ahead.
And then if your payment approved, you're active. If you are on a trial, you use your trial, and then you say, okay, I want to go into membership, full subscription. If it's approved, you go to active. So these two parallel processes, either this or that, from active, either you renew or it lapses, it becomes inactive.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you are inactive for 3 years, your data go into archive.
Okay.
They don't have cancel.
No, there is no
That's the
cancellation.
one. Oh,
Yeah,
wait. They don't have cancel.
Yeah, they
no,
have
there's no
register, they have
cancellation.
it's either trial or
Either trial, yeah, from
mm.
pending trial, you go
It
active.
doesn't allow for cancellations for this
No,
state diagram. They're missing out.
exactly. That's what you're missing because you're supposed to have cancellation. Can we go back to the question, please?
Yes, please.
Can we go up? You can accept the new. We have the new, we have the trial. There is a process payment.
Yeah. You if let's say you want to
Yeah.
register, then
Okay.
there's a process. Yep. Payment. Pending
Yeah.
subscription to
Okay.
payment. That's it. And inactive subscription.
Can we go down? Can we go down to the
Questions.
multiple choices?
So what state is missing?
I don't think cancellation, although it's missing, but it's not stated there, right? There's no ability for do the cancellation, so we can eliminate this.
For me, I would say rejected because you
I think,
do
I
Yeah.
think
have
from
the
memory it
payment.
was rejected.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That's
you
just
do
what I
rejected,
remember,
not
but I could be wrong.
cancellation. There is, I would go see rejected.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that as the answer too.
C.
All right.
Yeah.
C.
Same.
Okay. So we say a rejected subscription. Let's check it.
Yeah, because we have the payment, so we have to know what happened for the payment.
Oh yeah, correct.
Yeah, rejected.
So
It was rejected.
Yeah,
there was something that made us realize that um that rejected subscription is what it should be. And I like how this explains it. Now, the thing about state diagrams is that from here we can see that pending subscriptions, you have trial subscriptions. Now, they already told us new and trial subscriptions. So
yeah,
we're fine with trial subscriptions being here.
yeah,
Now, to register, like this is a new subscription. So we already understand those two states. Now, at times, maybe because of payment and all that, something might be like the subscription might be pending at some point. So that is fine. Could be an assumed state. Now, this thing tells us that the payment is approved. Now we have subscription lapses, inactive subscription. We know that it archives, which is fine.
Yeah.
A subscription is suspended when a payment is not approved. Rejected subscription because of a payment not being approved. Now, taking a look at it, let's understand how many processes payments comes in here.
How many processes
Or
for
how many
payment?
states? Yeah. Or how many states does the payment come in?
4 states, right? Pending, child,
We have the
active, active.
approved, activate, lapses,
Mm-hmm.
inactivate,
1, 2, 3,
full subscription.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Do
right.
you have
So, because we have more like an opposite, if a payment is approved, that means what would literally happen? For a payment to be approved, that means there are cases when a payment is not approved.
Mm.
Yeah.
We have more like the opposite of it. There are times it's not always the opposite, but there are times you also pick a state and try to see the two sides.
Mm.
So if you take a look at the two sides, then you might understand the state diagrams. I was also trying to see the BABOK to get, there's an explanation I'm trying to look for, but I haven't found it. So maybe when I find it, I would talk about it. But basically, what the state diagram is that it's just an analysis model that shows the entire life cycle of a class or like of a data entity. So you try to understand what the life cycle is as much as possible. Then, whether we like it or not, we also need to take a look at the arrows. The arrows are not just there for decorations.
Mm-hmm.
The arrows are important in any state diagram. And I'm taking a look at the BABOK. The BABOK lets us realize that let me move back to it.
You are in
So
10.44, you mean at the BABOK, point 2?
yeah, I even have this at page is under techniques. State modeling is
348?
on. This one just has 0.3. I think it's something under something. 359. That's the page I'm on. Now, it tells us that the transition from one state to another state is shown with a one directional arrow pointing from the start state to the destination state. So let's also not forget the arrows when we're dealing with state diagrams. In everything we did, we were just trying to understand the state, but to an extent, we also didn't look at the arrows. We didn't consider that. All right. So we
Which
got that.
technique are you?
Error.
I don't even know. I went to the BABOK page 359. 359.
359 is user stories in BABOK.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has a state.
348 is state modeling.
Yes,
That's
so it's
what you
under
want.
so it's under state modeling, and under the elements of state modeling, the third element of state modeling. So that's where it is.
350 in BABOK.
Yeah, 359 or yeah, 359. All right, let's go to the next. It's definitely still going to be this one. Okay. So it says that Julian has discovered that the subscription management staff, they frequently change addresses for customers who have two residences. Now, to facilitate address changes, they would like to allow saving an alternate address for a subscription. How should Julian handle this? Let's not forget that we have two diagrams. What's the name of this diagram? I know I kind of already said the name before, but what's it? When you see this, what does it mean?
Isn't that an ERD?
Data. Yeah.
Good. And I remember when we took this class, we talked about these signs.
Mm.
What are these? They are the ERD. What are these arrows?
It's
I call them arrows.
notation. It's
Good.
notation to indicate The cadence, how many of this particular object can be linked to the other object. I don't know, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, isn't it crow's
I thought
foot?
it was cardinality.
Notation?
Cardinality.
Cardinality. Yeah, who said that?
Jennifer.
Cardinality.
Yeah.
Jen. That's
All
right.
right.
And you said crow's foot.
Crow's foot.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's also part of it. Now, when you're dealing with an ERD, you have to observe the cardinality. That's one important thing. That's what really explains a lot of things, which is maybe a one to many, many to one, if it's one to one, that cardinality. I remember my CBAP exam, I had questions on this cardinality. So it's best for you to be able to identify cardinalities in ERDs. Now, when you deal with ERDs, there are two things that there are two or three things that we should always look at. There's something called a PK and an FK. So let me now throw it to everybody before we go into the question. What's a PK and what's an FK?
Primary key.
Okay. We know the primary key, we know the foreign key, and we know the optional. Now, who understands what's a primary key?
The unique ID number.
Everything
Oh.
has to be attached to that.
Might not be a number.
So I know, and Bob, please correct me if I'm wrong. There are times, most times, when we say primary key, the first thing that comes to everybody's mind is ID, like either state ID or something ID. But Bob, let me ask, is it possible that a primary key is not an ID?
It can be anything.
Anything.
Exactly. So I just want us to take away that assumption that once I see an ID in an ARD, I call it the primary key. It might not be the primary key. Or you might get into trouble and an ERD has 2 or 3 IDs. So which one would you pick as the primary key? So in that scenario, what would you do? Now, when you're
And
dealing with the
sometimes it takes multiple keys to make a primary key.
exactly. So the goal is that when you're talking of a primary key, what is that one thing, especially when you're looking at your ERD in a whole, that you know can actually be that identifier that regardless of whatever tables or diagrams, if it flows in there, it can actually populate other things. So what now, this is me going into anything databases and all that. That's more technical. The Babok is not going to ask you. But if they ask you to identify your primary key or your foreign key, they are important. In this scenario, the product type ID, the product type table now has the product type ID as the primary key. We can't use a product type description as a primary key. It's too long. Then we have the subscription. The subscription ID in this case is a primary key. Now, most times again, when you talk of FKs, that's the foreign keys. Those foreign keys are usually at times the primary keys in other tables. That's just something you need to note. So you can have like 4 or 5 different tables and they have four primary keys. Those 4 primary keys will be definitely be foreign keys in another table. So you have to be able to know the distinction and understand what the table itself covers. So now the payment table now has a payment ID as the primary key, but it also has a subscription ID, meaning that if it has a subscription ID, everything under this subscription table, that subscription ID is a unique identifier for the subscription table.
They are linked.
Do you understand? They are linked.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything has to link back to it, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. Now, under this same subscription, because the payment has the subscription linked to it, under subscription on its own has a subscription ID, but it also has the individual ID that's individual on its own, separate, linking back to subscription. Then the product ID itself is also linking to subscription. So now back to the question. Julian has discovered that the subscription management staff frequently change addresses for customers who have 2 residences. Let's identify the specific table we're dealing with. He has discovered that the subscription staff, they frequently change the addresses for customers who have 2 residences. To facilitate address changes, they would like to allow saving an alternate address for a subscription. How should Julian handle this? Now, let's go back to this. Let's not forget that the question says they frequently change address for customers who have 2 residences. Looking at this, where does that information, what table would carry that information?
Individual
Individual.
address.
Exactly. Do you see that the address itself comes under where? The individual. Do you see the address under the subscription?
No.
No, it would be attached to the individual.
Do you see the address under the payment?
No.
No.
So, because this individual, everything about that individual is captured, but we also want to be able to capture that the partner or the customer has multiple addresses. Now, to facilitate the address change, they would like to allow saving an alternate address for a subscription. For a subscription. Do you see the relationship between the individual and the subscription table now? Now, let's go to it. How should Julian handle this? Do you reject the request since there is only one address allowed per subscription? Do you add attributes in the individual entity to permit saving an alternate address? Just take a good look at it. Let's not forget all these things I'm calling tables, they're actually entities. Now, do you add a separate address entity and tie it to individual in a one-to-many relationship? Do you consult with an implementation SME such as a database analyst on how to handle this? We can do this.
I would say C.
Cool.
No?
I agree.
What do we
Why?
select? A, B, C, or D?
Definitely not D.
Yeah, we can eliminate the D, but
And
B
definitely
and C, what's the difference? Because we can't reject,
because
right?
the address will be a foreign key. Then in
It's C.
Well, if you ask D, which is actually not that unreasonable, although you should know the answer to this yourself, he should tell you one of the other answers that
Exactly.
is the most
That's in the real world.
exactly, not Babok.
But in Babok world. Exactly. Yes, as a BA, you have an idea about ERDs, the
Yeah.
little knowledge. But hello, you're not the one that's going to implement or even create the tables. So at times their recommendation goes a long way. But in the world of Babok, what do we do?
Say C.
C? We add a
I
separate
why
address
C
and
not B?
yeah, why C and not B? Because let's not forget that. Okay.
No, because
it will give you, because you would have an address 1, address 2,
Two.
so you would make
could-
it a different entity.
you could. There's nothing wrong with B, but C is cleaner and safer.
It's cleaner,
and
exactly.
from a database management point of view, and it's scalable as well, because what's not to say they might have 3 or 4 addresses.
Exactly.
So
I agree.
it's just cleaner.
And specifically, it says one-to-many. In C, you
Speaking
have the
from
one-to-many.
experience, having dealt with this exact scenario
Mhm.
in a data migration, yeah, it's much cleaner to do it this way.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I don't understand. That's from a real life example, but I don't know can't remember what the BABOK says about it,
Should we
because I don't
check?
think, like Esther says, I don't think they go into technical details
Yeah.
about
So
database
do we check?
schemas.
Yeah.
Actually, we were right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
Mm.
the beauty of databases is to have collective or similar information somewhere. So like I like that word that someone said, it is neater that way. Just have an address entity and let it fill up with as like 1,000 addresses as they
It's
need.
more modular. It's
Exactly.
generally better.
Exactly.
I think that adding new fields would be more limiting too, right? Because if you were to query address one, so what if it's an address two and you're not going to find it?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's good. Thank you. Let's go on to the next.
Also, I think that's the third time we've run into that problem in this cycle, not the
Exactly.
second.
Okay. All right. Now, the same question, but it's asking us overall, what major functionality would you say is missing from the requirements as they are modeled? What major functionality is missing? Ability to capture email marketing permission,
No.
renewing an active subscription, suspending a subscription, validating credit card for subscriptions.
I think I remember what the answer is, but I don't want to say it.
I would
think
include payment.
yeah, it's D.
So D.
Yeah.
D.
I actually think it's B for Bob,
B.
because if you look at the ERD, I remember this from last time when we looked at it. If you looked at the ERD, there is a field for renewal date or renewal something. There you go, renewal number.
Or
I just have this feeling that is the answer from the last time we looked at it. I can't
I
100%
remember, I know
remember.
actually. That's why I was laughing because okay, let's get to it. Let me see if they don't don't be sidetracked with the fact that Amanda already gave us the clue to the
Sorry.
answer.
No.
But
I
try
can't
to
remember.
understand. Most times when you see this question, the truth is what would come to everybody's mind is the state diagram.
yeah.
Exactly.
So, but now let's now look at the diagrams in its entirety. What major functionality would you say is missing from the requirement? Ability to capture email marketing permissions from subscribers.
I don't think that's.
Is that captured?
Yeah.
Neither permission.
It's an individual on
That
top.
is actually captured.
Yeah.
If you take a look at the
Marketing
subscription,
permission.
e-marketing permission, it also tells us reminder permission, yes or no. Change to end if subscriber opt out. So that's captured possibly twice. Renewing an active subscription. Renewing an active subscription.
Renewal number.
Good.
Mm.
Suspending a subscription.
Shouldn't that fall on your subscription status
Yeah.
or suspended in that status
Okay.
diagram?
Okay. Then validating credit card payments for subscriptions.
Payment entity, is it? Credit card.
Yeah.
Data.
Accepted type. Hate comments.
Yeah, payment accepted. Yes, no. It's a credit card.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What's the answer?
I do go back. Was Katya that said renewing? Or Amanda?
Amanda said it. I said
Yeah.
What's the answer? B?
be renewing.
B. B.
Okay. Let's check it. So, actually, so renewing an active subscription. Now, it just tells us that we have renewals as they are modeled. Yes, this gives us an option. Email marketing permission, we have all the possibly necessary details that we need to renew an act. Even the fact that we're renewing an active subscription, renewal number also goes a long way. So that works. Let's go on to the next. What term describes the money and the effort already committed to an initiative?
Sunk cost.
Yeah.
Sunk
Sunk
cost.
cost. Yes, sunk cost.
Mhm.
What sunk cost?
It's already done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
spent.
You can't take back.
Irrecoverable cost.
Yeah,
Exactly.
unrecoverable cost.
unrecoverable.
So what's the net present value?
Some awful formula that I hate learning and I forget every single time. I forget it every single time.
You can remember a general definition for it.
Net present value, it's like what you paid, like with the benefit, it gives you the net present value.
Present value
Um,
minus
The
cost of
sum of
investment.
minus
all
cost. Yeah.
future payments discounted by the interest rate going backward from when the payments are made.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So to calculate the NPV, we have the present value of the
Yeah.
benefits minus the original cost. And the present value itself is like the sum of that's the calculation or the formula that Bob just told us. So the higher the NPV, the better, the lower problem. Then additional cost. Do we have anything called an additional cost?
Maintenance, all of that.
Is additional cost a Babok word?
Don't have. I don't
think
think
so.
so.
There is no additional cost.
Yeah.
All the costs kind of have
All the
definitions.
maintenance and everything, it comes under the MPV. Where does it go?
No, so there are other costs, but additional cost in itself, like when you're defining costs, there's
Okay.
no Babok. Like Babok would not call something additional cost.
So other cost.
So let's see. It depends on the question, but most times they actually even spell it out, like maintenance cost, advertising cost, they spell it out.
Okay.
Opportunity cost, we know that one, cost of alternative forgone. So what answer are we picking? Opportunity cost,
A.
sunk cost.
Mm.
It's sunk cost.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's also see what the Babok tells us is additional cost. Do you see? This is a fabricated answer. It's not in the
Yeah.
Babok. So our answer is sunk. Next. The process of two or more people or organizations working together toward a common goal is the definition of which? Conflict resolution, compromise, elicitation, collaboration.
Collaboration.
Corporation.
Okay. Which which techniques would work best to confirm your elicitation results? Document analysis, interviews, reviews, and workshops. Document analysis, interviews, reviews, process modeling. Document analysis, interviews, reviews, requirements model. Which of them? To confirm your elicitation results. You've met them, you've spoken with them back and forth, you've gotten all that they need, all the information, all the requirements. How do you want to confirm?
Via workshop. I think A.
B.
Yeah, I think A.
A.
Why not B?
I would say B because process modeling.
We
And
already
why
get
not?
the result. We are confirmed, right? It's like a process.
Requirements model. Do we have something called requirements model?
We don't have.
There are some answers when you see it, you're like, "Mm-mm,"
Yeah.
you're just a confusion. So what are we looking at? A, B, or D?
A apple.
A.
I have A, I have B. Which one are we going for?
B.
Anything you want.
Okay, let's do B. So
Yeah.
now, process modeling is not
Really.
a listed technique for this task. Interesting. So we have to confirm elicitation results, you have the document analysis, you have interviews, you have reviews, and you have workshops. Let's see. Okay, next. How is the core concept of change in the BACCM applied in the RADD knowledge area? Core concept of change in the business analysis core concept model applied in requirement analysis and design. I think this should actually be on the very first page. Like if you go through the BABOK, they usually start with the BACCM for every knowledge area
Mhm.
to see the definitions of change, need. So this is like the first thing. Requirement analysis and design definition. So, what is change?
I think we can animate.
I think it's, isn't it RTD where you trace, maintain? Isn't it this chapter?
Mm.
So,
I think B is the most
yeah, because
r-
that's
useful
the
reasonable.
answer.
chapter. Yeah,
Are
I
you
think
right?
Because
yeah.
D is kind of correct, but it's too specific. But what they're asking for is how
Core
is change
concepts.
yeah, what is the concept of change
Yeah,
according to this knowledge area? And I think might even think that those are the exact words. Elicitation results, I think that is their definition.
RATD is where you maintain, trace, and do all of that, correct or not?
No, it's we
No,
do
that's
specify.
maintain. That's life
We said
cycle
model
management.
and verify and validate.
Which
Yeah.
one?
We specify the model and verify and validate. RADD.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are
various modeling are
we are
transformed
building.
designs in order to define. Yeah, it is B.
Okay, let's do B. Yep. So business analysts transform elicitation results into requirements and designs in order to define the change.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of estimation in determining the potential value for each design option? Purpose of estimation in determining the potential value.
A. To forecast the cost and effort of meeting the requirements. To able to provide some figures, no, to create measurement used in defining. No, it's A.
Okay. Another opinion?
This is under which
No.
knowledge area? Design. Assess design options.
Design definition.
Oh, these are
Some you
definitions.
should not need to really know what section it's in. It's
Yeah,
such a general concept.
yeah.
Um,
You estimate to know the cost and you estimate the effort so you can reach the requirement. That's why you do estimation to see how much every requirement will cost you within the solution if you want to implement it.
Okay.
Correct.
okay, A.
A.
Yep.
Let's do this. Correct.
Oh.
Roberto is a BA working on a process improvement project. He has completed an assessment right before the new processes were scheduled to be fully deployed. The assessment concluded that a great deal of work would need to be done in order for the stakeholder groups he's been working with to effectively use the processes. It has found that no new policies have been issued, no procedures have been written, and little training has been done. What type of assessment was Roberto doing?
Yeah.
Concluded that a great deal of work will need to be done in order for the stakeholder groups he's been working with to effectively use the process.
I always think it's supposed to be cultural, but I believe it's operational.
Yep. I agree.
But they are talking about stakeholder groups.
Exactly. I would go for C.
Yes, but it's in the context of the enterprise. So
Right.
And no new policies have been issued. No
the procedures,
procedures
little
have been
training.
written,
So
and little training has been done.
he's actually almost, you could almost say he's completing an enterprise readiness assessment. Well, no, it's not readiness because they haven't implemented the solution yet. It's even before that.
So, what are we looking at?
I think it's D.
Okay, let's check it out. Correct. So,
Can
we
you
have to
select C and
determine
C?
C.
I want to know
Let's
why
see.
it's not.
Roberto is concerned with how the stakeholders can effectively use the solution. In this case, a new process, not how the change will affect them.
I see.
No new policies have been issued. Does it affect them in any way?
No.
No procedures have been written. It affects
Okay.
the organization more.
Why
Little
is
training
it
has been
not
done.
B?
So B has to do with culture, values.
Get
This
that.
let's
What
even see the
does
answer.
watermark say?
Not the beliefs, the attitudes,
Feelings.
and the feelings of the stakeholder. If we're dealing with the cultural assessment, yeah, their beliefs, the attitudes would be considered, because that's where you'd even try to understand, oh, this stakeholder, for example, has possibly more influence um, and can impact things like that. So our answer
It's
is
definitely the best answer
yep.
to clarify any possible confusion.
Okay. So we have the next one. So which of the following statements is not true about the prioritization of requirements? Priority can refer to the relative value of a requirement or to the sequence in which it will be implemented. Solution scope is not considered when prioritizing requirements. Prioritization is an ongoing process with priorities changing as the context changes. When a requirement is prioritized, it is given greater or lesser priority.
I think it's B.
Yeah. B.
Agreed.
Scope.
Or
So B.
Yes.
Okay. How about D?
Well, I mean, that's what priority means is it's going up or it's going down in priority.
Okay.
Well, could stay the same, so it's poorly worded.
Yeah. Okay. So we're dealing with B, right? You guys are ready for this
Yes.
exam. Okay, so the solution scope is considered during the prioritization. Okay, is not true about the priority. Let's read this again because now that's the answer, but there's something weird going on. It says the following statement is not true about the prioritization. Solution scope is not considered,
It
but
is
it's
not true
actually
because it is
considered.
considered correct.
So it's like I think they had an issue with their words framing. It's wrong. Something's wrong somewhere. But that's not on us.
Because it's not true. Solution scope is not considered. It's not
That's
true.
not
You
true. It is
cannot
considered.
prioritize your requirement without considering your solution scope. I cannot, if I'm implementing a system, I cannot go implement ERP if my requirement is like a static. We need the solution scope.
Right?
But
So I
that's
think they
written
had that
right.
issue.
It's very tricky. Thank God we don't have that in the
But
exam.
do you understand how like the words are framed wrongly?
Yeah.
Which of the
It's a
statements is
double
not
negative.
true? Yeah, double negative and
Yeah.
this, and they're just acting up.
They're just
So
trying to
let's go
trick you.
which of the following is not a guideline or a tool for the task of prioritizing requirements? Is not a guideline or tool.
Domain.
We need domain knowledge.
Isn't it domain?
I thought.
I think it's.
To prioritize requirements, to change strategy, the
You need
domain
the
knowledge.
change.
I think you,
Yeah,
I
we
think you
need.
absolutely
think
need
it is-
domain knowledge.
I think it's B, domain knowledge. Is it? No, 1 second. System
I think you would
architecture.
absolutely need domain knowledge in order to
Yeah,
prioritize
system
requirements, but
architecture.
I think
System
C is the correct
architecture.
answer because
it's
we're not interested in the technology
Yeah.
at this stage. We need to be
Yeah.
technology agnostic.
I think it is here.
Yeah.
Okay, system architecture, let's check. And we're correct.
Yeah.
Requirements is said as a guideline or a tool to prioritize.
Mm-hmm.
Requirements architecture is utilized and all that. So let's go to the
Awesome.
next one. So
I
Kate,
actually kind of disagree with that, but that's another discussion.
let's see. Okay. Kate is studying an enterprise's current key metrics and performance indicators, IT systems, organization charts, business architecture, and policies. She's studying the enterprise's current key metrics and performance indicators. She's studying the IT systems. She's
Mm-hmm.
studying the organizational charts. She's studying the business architecture. She's studying the policies. What sort of initiative is she most likely working on?
I would think organizational change.
Process.
right.
Or organize change. Okay. Oh yeah, organization chart. Okay, yeah, right.
Okay. Are we agreeing on this?
Well, they've thrown a spanner in the works by talking about the enterprise's key current KPIs, because that to me would indicate process improvement, because then you've got something to measure before and after. But then when they go on to talk about org charts, business architecture, and policies, that makes me think organizational change.
Mhm.
more
check it.
bigger changes.
And also, a system integration thing could involve all of the
Yes.
other
Agreed.
concepts.
So I think it's probably, this question is like, what is the best answer? They're probably all correct, but they're probably looking for the best answer.
Best answer.
Yeah.
So what
And
do we say?
also, because Watermark needs to exercise every section of the book, means that not all the questions are winners that would be as good as what you'll find on the
On the Babok.
actual
Yeah.
exam.
Yeah.
So are we going with C?
Yeah.
Yes.
For me, I would go with A. Even with
Oh,
B.
damn. Was
So what?
process improvement.
For me, I thought
Damn.
it's A. Like there is, okay, process. But
That's
Damn.
weird.
why A? Why B?
Yeah, that's weird
Yeah,
even to
well,
me.
that was what I
KPIs.
first thought when I saw key metrics and performance indicators, but then I changed my mind when I saw they were looking at org charts and
Organization chart, right? That's why
policies.
I changed.
6.1. I want to check why B process.
But
Wow.
wouldn't
Okay, well, that's good to
worry
know.
about it. I like the way you were thinking about it. It's kind of a goofy question. I mean,
Mm.
you know, I'm the king of process analysis, so that would generally be my answer. But the way you were thinking about it makes sense.
Right. They said it's process improvement.
But
Okay.
how can KPI be a process improvement?
It's
Yeah,
a
because
measure of how well
measure
the
The
process
process
is
is
how many
performing.
days does it take if it takes 5 days to approve a loan and you get it down to 2 days, then you're trying to improve your internal processes of how you organizational does its capabilities. Customer satisfaction, I don't know, number of new hires.
I think it would be process
thought-
specific instead of organization specific.
For me, I always thought the KPI, it will go capability, like because you can,
This question is actually wonky even for me.
yeah, like I would have never
Oh,
answered correctly.
KPI is anything
KPIs.
you can
Anything.
measure. So
Anything.
it's a fairly general term.
Okay.
But customer satisfaction, it could be time to turn things around, percentage of waste, anything.
Okay.
Okay. So Robert is a business analyst who is working on a project to develop new features for an existing clothes washing machine in Southeast Asia. As Robert is new to this market space, he's unaware of the current customer choices about washing machines in this market, or how he could bring more value or benefit to customers by developing new features in the washing machine. To get started, Robert is preparing to elicit requirements with relevant stakeholders who are familiar with this market space. For his first elicitation stakeholder group, he has identified store managers who sell appliances in multiple cities in Indonesia. He wants to elicit high level requirements quickly. To get an overall understanding of key requirements, then follow with the elicitation of more detailed requirements from people who have recently purchased a washing machine. What technique should Robert select to get a quick list of high-level requirements from the store managers? What he
Survey.
wants to do is to elicit high-level requirements quickly.
I
Survey is
think the
quick.
key word here, whenever I think quickly, I think survey. And also because
High
he's
level.
he's in Southeast Asia, and now he's so his stakeholders are in multiple cities in
Mm-hmm.
Indonesia, so they're scattered all over the place. So to get something done quickly, get information quickly from people who are geographically dispersed, I would go with a survey.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely
For all
not
those reasons.
one-to-one and not focus group, and
No,
definitely there's no
they've got no
vertical.
time.
Yeah,
No time.
exactly.
But I
Private.
also like D. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I also like D, but at the moment, they just
There
want
is no
high level.
technique in Babok virtual
No,
requirement.
it's not. It's too time consuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is
So
workshops, not virtual requirements workshop. Okay.
so now
Oh,
like it said, so workshops are time consuming to set up.
But
It may
it's
also not
virtual.
capture ideas and
Mm,
thoughts from the more introverted of the group. Just like
yeah.
there are some people that haven't said a word since we started this meeting. That's a perfect example. So, survey, that's the answer. We go to the next. Haha. What are the outputs that you're looking to achieve by prioritizing requirements?
Yeah,
mhm.
it's simple.
I think I want to say it's D
Output,
because
right?
I think they
I say
approved
D.
fine.
Huh?
D as well.
Prioritize. I thought it's C. C.
Requirements
Requirements and designs.
prioritized.
Prioritize.
Output for prioritizing requirements.
Yeah.
So it's C. Isn't it?
Isn't it C?
Yeah.
It's C.
Yes, C.
Exactly.
I think it's D. Why would the design be prioritized? I think the requirements are prioritized, and I think the design is approved.
I
Why
think
would you
you're right.
prioritize a design?
Okay.
Sorry.
So C or D?
D.
Yeah,
Anyone.
D.
let's try both. It doesn't matter, but I think that.
Oh,
Oh, I was wrong.
okay.
Okay, sorry.
So when
Because
you prioritize the
you are still at
requirements,
this stage also you are prioritizing the design. Either you go for that or that, and you go with the requirement, and
so
you don't have a
Yeah,
defined design at that time.
so
I,
when a requirement is prioritized, everything that comes out from that requirement is prioritized.
Mm-hmm.
design is a
So,
useful representation of a solution. So
But it comes
theoretically, it needs to be approved.
I like Amanda's answer better than Watermark's interpretation of the BABA.
But you cannot approve, let's say you have a requirement prioritized and design approved. But the prioritization, how you, I don't know the word in English, this design, it comes from the requirement because design is a representation of your requirements.
It's a useful representation of a solution.
And the solution from where it comes,
Yeah,
from the requirement.
Designs are
correct.
also are generally
requirement.
prioritized. They're approved.
Fair enough. I don't like this question. I disagree.
It says in the 538, so it does say that, but I think that's a situation where the Babok is goofing. When they redo the Babok, they should review all of these classes we've done and address every time we said something was goofy.
But
Yeah, totally
but
goofy.
Amanda, maybe your design is approved, okay?
Yeah.
But when you start with the prioritization, you have with the value. So let's say you have a design and it's approved, and it's not bringing the value that you want. So your design, it won't be prioritized anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yes.
let's not get it
Yeah.
confused. Now,
Sure.
let me explain this. We are working on um let me think of something. a payment management system. Now, in that, let's say the hotel management system. Now, the hotel management system has different parts. And based on our conversation in the project meetings, we decide that, okay, we want to launch, the hotel is ready, but we want to have a launch of July 30th. Now, the fact that we want to have a launch on July 30th, and we already have like 30 features we want our hotel management system to incorporate, lets us realize that we cannot complete all 30 in what's it called? We cannot complete all 30 in like within the timeline that we have. And now we've met with all our stakeholders, like every department, we've gotten the requirements, from the booking team. We've gotten the requirements from the payment team. Oh, this is how the payments would integrate. These are the things we want payment features. Oh, from the booking team. Oh, we want to include the hotel availability. We want to have this. Oh, we've gotten the requirements from the inventory management team. That's another feature. We've gotten the requirements from the housekeeping. Oh, this is how we want housekeeping to look like. Oh, we've gotten the requirements from stock, like those that want to make ordered. Like I'm just listing different parts of the hotel management system. Now we decide that with our timeline of July the 30th, we cannot we need to prioritize all these requirements while we're working on the other parts, like the other features. What do we do? If we're going to prioritize it, the first thing is that at least people should be able to book. So if I'm prioritizing that, I already have the requirements. I'm prioritizing that the booking page on or before July 30th, which is the date of launch, the booking page must be finalized. The payments page must be finalized and say housekeeping. Now, I've gotten the requirements for booking. I've gotten the requirements for housekeeping. Booking is 1, housekeeping is 2, payment is 3. Booking is 1. That's one requirement. That's one feature. Everything, as you've gotten all the requirements for booking, maybe you are now mapping it out. Deciding, this is what the final state of the booking page is going to look like, or the booking part of the management system. Everything that comes out of booking on its own, but the requirement, and remember, it's the solution. It's prioritized above integrations because payment is like the third. Do you understand the picture? So from that requirements that has been prioritized, the design is also prioritized. Look at it in a whole and not just picking just the requirement, because the requirement has a solution. Because whatever is designed, you can't even get, before you get to the stage of approval is a long process. It's another process on its own. So don't even bring in approval into the scope. Once you prioritize a requirement, the design is also prioritized. Anything that comes out of that requirement is prioritized, especially if you're dealing with a large scope project or like something really something exactly. There can be a backlog of completed designs waiting to be implemented good, just as well as you can have a backlog of requirements waiting to have their designs done and implemented. So there are real life scenarios, there are things that you'd expect, but when you have your requirements, everything that falls out of that requirement. That's why, again, they would always say, let's follow the scope. So we don't have scope creep. So if you go and prioritize another design when it's not supposed to, like, or you bring in another design that wasn't prioritized, let me just chip in. We're expecting the design of the homepage, and you're like, well, since they're wasting so much time, I know they didn't prioritize this, but let me bring the design for the front desk. So that's basically what it entails. So let's look at this question. Which of the following least describes why an activity diagram may be utilized? It least describes. It least describes why an activity diagram may be utilized. He says least described. I don't like these words, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
I think in this scenario, the correct answer is B because the others are good, legitimate reasons why you
Why
would
is
use an
not A?
activity diagram.
It can handle large number of scenario and
Yeah.
parallel branches activity diagram. I thought activity diagram is more on like a okay.
Oh,
Cannot
yeah,
be.
maybe. B,
Yeah, it's
yeah, activity diagram. Maybe I'm wrong. I love being made wrong. Activity diagram. I'm going to Google it.
list is which is right.
Activity diagram. Workflows of stepwise activities and actions with support for choice, iteration, and concurrency. It's a flow chart.
Basically, another word for process model, and one I don't particularly like.
Yeah, process normally will be like flow. So
I would say least likely would be to elaborate on a single use case.
Yeah, that's what
Could
I
it not
thought
go in
originally.
more than one?
Okay.
Well, I thought that originally, but Jesse says that activity diagram is better suited to single use cases. So now I'm questioning all of my life's choices.
Mm,
I'm trying to think when I've used an activity diagram in the past.
I did use, but I feel yeah.
I would go for B, I think, myself.
hi, Kosi.
What would you go for?
I still like B. Might be wrong, but we're gonna learn.
Yes, yeah, we go to
I think B as well. It seems like overkill.
Let's look at it. It least describes why an activity diagram may be utilized.
Activity diagram is not in techniques, and it's not in the index. Doesn't mean it's not in the BABOK. It means it's not easy to find.
Okay.
If we're talking about a process, we have it in D. If it's processes, we have BPMN. Potential improvements because you have the current future state. That's where you identify.
Somebody search for if they have a PDF open, search for activity diagram in that.
I'm checking it.
I have my trusty paper copy.
It's a UML. An activity diagram is a UML diagram to visually map the step-by-step workflow and processes within a system.
So you're going to see
Basically a
something there.
process diagram, but it's a UML specific term.
Yeah.
This is what I
What
saw.
page are you reading?
He said Google. I Googled.
Oh,
So
okay.
did I.
Because the BABOK
There is no
states.
Babok involved. It's Google. Okay, let's see Babok.
Yeah.
Control F.
So the BABOK tells us that
It
the activity diagram was originally designed to elaborate on a single use case.
is an activity diagram. The activity diagram is which technique in process modeling is one of the use case realization diagram defined at the UML. It's designed to elaborate on a single use case, so definitely it's not the least. Our answer was B. Has been adopted for more
Ever knew that?
business processes.
But we do now.
There's a reason I want us to really look at it and let
Because,
me know what you
okay,
think.
when we say UML, it's not BPMN. Am I correct?
Okay.
When we
Hmm?
say UML, it's a different notation. It cannot be BPMN.
Well, you can actually use a BPMN
Eh, When
representation
and
of an activity diagram
mm-hmm.
in UML.
UML.
So what UML is actually a whole bunch of different views into a process or an organization that if you mechanically work through everything that it talks about, you cannot miss anything. It is almost physically impossible. And so it's an organized way to be stupidly thorough.
Okay. So which answer are we going with? This is a tough one,
Swim
actually.
lane, showing how to handle a large number. Okay, show parallel branch. It has
Maybe
activity of potential
can I
improvement.
change my mind? Maybe it's D. Because activities is easier. So,
Yeah.
So let's just pick one answer.
It's not A, it's not B.
yeah,
Also,
then it's B.
activity typically employs swimmers to show a synchronized as bar.
Duty.
Donkey, dog.
Does an activity diagram highlight pain points?
Yes.
You should be able to use it for that. If
Yeah.
you can't, you're missing the point.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And here's where it gets interesting. So you can't tell by looking at the structure of the diagram. You have to look at the volumes that are moving through the various connections and nodes within it to figure out where the pain points are. So that may be a subtlety. So there's knowing where stuff goes, and there's also knowing how much stuff goes there. And there are different ways to make those drawings so you include that information on there. And I've done various versions of that. So it's tricky.
All
My
right.
idea is
Does it handle
confused.
a large number of It does handle a large number of scenarios. It doesn't handle in one process. You cannot handle in one process. You cannot
Yeah.
handle a large number of scenarios.
Okay.
Can you?
So what are we looking at?
I don't know. I would go for A, maybe. Let's go for
I'm telling you right now, A is wrong, but it's fine
it is not A.
It's
because
B because
A
I
is wrong
think activity
because
is a
it
different
actually. Go ahead.
style.
So an activity diagram actually handles a large number of scenarios and parallel branches. That's one of its strengths. So I
Yeah.
can tell you for a fact A is wrong.
Where did you read that?
Oh, it's
The
in the Babok.
strengths.
Check the strengths. And I can also tell you that C is wrong. So the answer is actually between B and D. Let's just pick one. Now we've made it easier. B or D?
B.
B. Okay, someone says B, another person says D.
D. David.
D. Okay, let's do D.
Oh, correct. D. Oh,
Thank you.
I'm
I
wrong.
told you BPMN
Great
is
job.
not UML. I told you
Oh,
that. You mentioned
great
UML is not BPMN
clarification
notation.
about what those things are. A UML
It's
is
different
not
than,
one thing. It uses 9 or 10 different
Different
techniques,
notations.
it's a
which
different notation that, because I am working on BPMN. It's not UML. It's totally different.
it's a subset
Um,
of it. UML may use BPMN.
BPMN,
But they
exactly.
do have, Bob, different notations. They are not similar.
Any
So,
process diagram could be used within UML. So
so
UML includes use cases,
It's
all kinds of. I have my
good. Now let me say something.
spreadsheet.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
So it lists cases, relationships, state diagrams, sequence diagrams, collaboration diagrams,
Mm-hmm.
activity diagrams, deployment diagrams, and probably more. It's like looking at a sculpture from different angles and seeing different aspects of it you can't see from some other angles. That's what it's about. So UML is a whole group of techniques of which um, process modeling or activity diagrams is one. And there are more ways to do activity diagrams or process modeling diagrams than there are processes.
Mm-hmm.
because
So,
sorry, in my project now that we are working, at the beginning, we started identifying how we want to go from current to future state. So we were discussing, do we go for UML or do we go for BPMN? So from there, like there is a bit of, they are different. As yes, you will show the current future state, but each one has a different way of techniques, notations, how you can use it, how you can
All of
draw
those
it.
tools can be used to show current state and future
Exactly,
state.
exactly,
exactly.
exactly.
All right then. So I think we should be done for today.
So,
We did a good job. Let me. So D is our answer.
so the rationale for this is because the BPMN is not inside the activity diagram. Can I say so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's wrong. That's just flat out wrong.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. All right.
But to say what the Babok says, that's all I can tell you.
So let's go to the Babok. I have the Babok open here.
So,
The activity diagram is one of the use case realization diagrams defined in the UML. It was originally designed to elaborate on a single use
Single use
case,
case.
but has been adopted for more general process modeling purposes, including business process modeling.
BPMN.
Do you see? So there are times all these things too are contradicting or contradictory.
And
mm,
you don't have to use BPMN. use any notation that works for
Works for
the
you.
process you're analyzing, and that is understood by all participants. BPMN is a standard, it's not the only one.
All right then. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
You
you.
guys rock.
I'm telling you, you guys are kind of ready for the exam, and I wish you guys immense success.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you so much,
Good night,
everyone. Good
everyone.
night.
Bye.